Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get started. This month's Lunch and Learn is on tasting room staff training, ins and outs. And just a reminder that this will be recorded. However, the discussion, which is at the end of the presentation, is not recorded. So many of your tasting rooms, as you all know, are filling up for the busy season. And now is a great time to review your industry standards, look at policies to update as needed, meet with your staff to introduce any new policies, freshen up and sharpen up their knowledge through hands-on practice. I'm excited to discuss this information with you today because it is part of a publication that will be released from our team in the coming weeks. So any feedback is encouraged after the presentation during our discussion. I hope to provide you with some tools to help you with your tasting room staff training and information that should be included in it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So an overview of, why I'm doing this, why take this time to update staff training, and how does having this updated knowledge impact your staff and in turn the customer experience? This is the key question to updating your staff training. Then I will touch on some information that should be covered in all of your trainings. And this includes practical information about your business, including policies, your brand story, your workplace culture. Next up, I will discuss how all of this information ties to the guest experience as well as sales, which is, why we sell wine and why we have a tasting room. I will discuss briefly wine knowledge and service and how and why to train staff on this, as well as compliance and safety factors to consider when developing your tasting room staff training. Lastly, I will focus on specific training tools to help you and your team succeed. So there are many reasons why keeping staff training updated is important. Tasting room employees are often the first and sometimes only winery staff that interacts directly with your customers. Younger customers value authenticity, brand story, and a sense of place. And continuous learning helps staff and managers mutually. As we all know, the hospitality industries experience some of the highest turnover rates in the U.S. job market. This is in large part because it's widely affected by changes in the U.S. economy. However, this is complicated because the industry often relies on workers who receive lower hourly wages and end up getting burnt out because they have a poor work-life balance or working late nights or the weekends. However, if employees feel connected to your brand, receive regular feedback, praise, and incremental pay raises, they are far more likely to stay and perform at higher levels. When employees feel valued, supported, and see a clear path for development, they're more invested in their work and creating positive experiences. As mentioned, younger consumers tend to value an authentic brand story. So by refining the narrative and making it a central part of your staff training, while showing team members how to share it genuinely, you will help ensure a steady flow of new customers to your tasting rooms. Keep staff informed of changes, which will help deepen the appreciation that they have for the wines made, and continuous learning will help both staff and managers or owners. When employees receive professional and regular training, they are less likely to leave their positions, as found in a review article in 2023. These are just a few of the points that I think make this type of training and continuous improvement important. However, the list goes on. So next I will discuss the practical information that you should include in your training. This is important to know for many reasons. For starters, in the event that customers have questions, staff are well informed. Staff can feel confident and better equipped to handle issues smoothly. Having knowledge about the wines, processes, and property can naturally lead to better storytelling or upselling and a better overall experience for customers. So what are the key pieces of information that should be included? First off is a winery's brand story and history. The brand story is a valuable marketing tool. It comprises the values and origin story of the business, along with the winemaking processes and what makes the business special. It should be clearly defined and outlined, not just for storytelling purposes, but also for training. New staff should know the brand story and also connect with it. Authenticity is important to the customer. In fact, a survey conducted by Origin Hill and Holiday Research Group to 3,000 customers found that when presented with a brand story instead of tasting notes for a wine, consumers were 5% more likely to purchase it and willing to pay 6% more for it. A strong and clearly defined brand story will also help strengthen the connection with your employees. When staff feel a strong connection and the values and the brand story of the winery, they're more motivated and encouraged, which leads to a better customer experience. The winery workplace culture should be communicated to staff early on and is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Set your communication and hospitality expectations. Be transparent about processes, and employees will understand the full picture and be able to feel more trusting of management. This will lead to higher levels of engagement, which is critical, as employees' feelings about the workplace can often shape how they interact with guests. Employees who feel like valued team members are more motivated to work and more likely to stay working for a company if the values are shared and they feel like they can communicate their thoughts openly. A healthy culture encourages teamwork and accountability on both sides of the employer-employee relationship. Training programs should involve open communication, clear expectations, collaboration, lessons in conflict resolution, and being able to have that mutual trust will, again, make for greater employee retention. This culture of acceptance and value will naturally extend into your customer interactions, which will lead to more authentic guest experiences and overall happier employees. Tasting room staff should know the basics of your practical information about your winery. This is very important when starting a job. It should be made available in multiple ways, either through printouts, employee handbooks provided on the first day, or digital copies provided to staff during training. This should include the organizational structure, who reports to whom, the chain of command, and the responsibilities of tasting room employees' role. Who do they come to when they have concerns or when they want time off? It is helpful to provide a clear list of responsibilities for the tasting room staff, especially if there are multiple roles or members who are shift leaders or managers. Communication expectations should be laid out plainly. Will you have regular mandatory staff meetings? Will you send out email updates? Do you have shift notes? Or do you have a team huddle before busy event days? Will you require incident logbooks? Staff should also be aware of the perks of the job, including discounts that they receive, paid time off if provided, growth opportunities, and any events that you regularly host. Business information should, of course, be relayed to employees. They should know the location of the business, website, social media handles, hours and any other special hours for events, what type of events the business hosts and where customers can find more information about these events, food and outside beverage policies, as well as pet policies. Provide a quick reference guide that can be located in the tasting room that contains shortened versions of this information for easy access. And make sure employees know who to contact when they have a question that they cannot answer. A great alternative is providing a list of frequently asked questions. If you see something that keeps coming up that employees don't know the answer to, this is a gap in your training that could be an opportunity to have a staff meeting or update your training protocols. Next, I'm going to touch on the guest experience. This is an essential component of not only the business's success, but also to a training program. Guest satisfaction directly correlates with sales. So ensuring that employees have the knowledge to maintain a high level of service will aid in this as well. So hospitality is a very important component, but just a piece of the puzzle. A well-trained staff can anticipate the needs of customers and offer tailored service to guests. The healthy workplace culture, which includes clear expectations of staff and leadership, as well as leadership support, authentic brand story, and learning from the feedback that you receive from customers and employees, is a critical component of training and providing a great guest experience. Following and in addition to this healthy workplace culture is training in hospitality. Included in this is the fundamentals of essential service, which includes training in creating a positive and welcoming atmosphere for guests. In addition, employees should know about your products and how to suggest wines when guests describe what they enjoy drinking. Some good ways to ensure that this training occurs include role-playing the guest experience. Describe scenarios to employees and see how they would react, or what recommendations that they would make. Providing handouts, describing the tasting notes of your products, how they are made, the process of tasting wines properly, and any other quick references can help ensure that employees feel confident in the knowledge of the material. This ensures that staff deliver a high service standard, which is the next piece of the puzzle. A high standard of service includes a friendly disposition, as well as knowledge of how to serve and taste wines. Many people, myself included, are of the opinion that everyone should work in the service industry at least once. It is the type of work that teaches you how to interact with people in a kind manner, take other people's concerns seriously, and learn the ability to maintain kindness and professionalism when things get chaotic. This work teaches people patience, and most of all, is fun and fast-paced and a great way to become a member of the community. Thus, a positive guest encounter is the desired outcome of an interaction every time. Customers see the value of investing in the experience, which makes for greater sales, repeat visits, wine club signups, and positive reviews on websites or to friends and family. And if there may be feedback about the experience, management and trainers should view this as constructive or again as a chance to improve your training. There are going to be times where situations are difficult, however. And an important training point for staff, especially those new to the service industry, is handling these difficult situations, such as dealing with angry or dissatisfied customers or handling things when they get stressful. The customer will not always be satisfied 100% of the time, no matter what you are doing. Team members should feel supported by management and other staff when dealing with a difficult situation. One way that management can support staff through this is by having clearly laid out policies and protocols. Unclear standards, including those regarding the treatment of customers, can cause undue stress and result in customer dissatisfaction. Customers can also be dissatisfied when they notice that an employee is unhappy in their workplace. This is another way that having clear-cut standards and training procedures can help to make customers more pleased with their overall experience. Conflict resolution is a valuable skill. When employees are trained to listen to customers with empathy and attention, they are better able to identify the root cause of the frustration. This approach leads to a more positive outcome and encourages collaboration in resolving the issue. Oftentimes, customers just want to feel heard. A great way to encourage this type of behavior is to role-play scenarios for difficult customer experiences and to create an FAQ document for employees that will outline the answers to common questions. Customers are less likely to engage in difficult or dissatisfying behaviors if they are happy with the service that they are provided and are heard when they are not. Another difficult situation that may apply to your winery is when things get busy. High volume hospitality is something that we are all familiar with. Seasons in the wine industry come and go, and spring is the time of year that typically means that tasting rooms in Iowa are busy with events of all kinds. Spring is also a great time to review training with employees, even seasoned ones. Make sure off the bat that staff know what type of events that you host and if any special circumstances apply to certain events. This will ensure that quality service is performed under pressure without sacrificing attentiveness. Being able to prioritize tasks, coordinate with other team members, and work well under pressure are all integral parts of this type of training. Coordination among staff and efficiency in performing ensures that there are no bottlenecks and that crowds move through your bar and register smoothly. High volume days are peak revenue opportunities. So staff should know the importance of these, and training should be done before these types of events. Training can ensure that your brand values are embodied even when things get stressful. Wine tourism is vital to the success of the industry. Training for this type of high volume hospitality can involve simulated busy day role-playing, where multiple mock service scenarios occur at once. Make sure that staff are comfortable jumping into all the different types of roles that are in the tasting room, so they can develop flexibility as well as a team-oriented mindset. Remind staff to acknowledge guests when they enter, even if they can't serve them right away. This can be as simple as saying, "I'll be right with you, hello," which allows for some extra time. Having reinforcements on the ready for these types of busy days, especially, when you know that not enough people are, scheduled, for example, make sure that the event flows smoothly. And make sure that staff feel comfortable with using point of sale systems, and to do so could involve checkout training drills or mock orders to gain comfort in the system. Another effective way to ensure that high volume events run smoothly is by having pre-shift meetings or post-shift meetings. Pre-shift meetings can help staff feel prepared and have a team mindset. And post-shift meetings work well to discuss the day and how the team can improve next time. This will also benefit in the ways that it will promote the culture of continuous improvement and ownership in their work. Confident teams can create loyal guests. And remember that tourists may be visiting your winery for the first time. So it is crucial that their first impression is a good one. I already touched on this a bit, but point of sale system training is crucial. This is one of the most widely used tools in the tasting room. It will facilitate sales, track inventory, manage data, and can automatically generate business reports. Proper training on the POS system ensures that every transaction is smooth and error-free, helping staff to deliver quick and professional service, as well as any heating and cooling systems that staff should know how to use. By providing a warm and welcoming atmosphere, staff member or tasting room visitors are more likely to stay for longer. Audio and visual equipment that are used for events should also be trained on if staff are required to know how to set these up. So this is some of the practical and sales tools that are used. I will now start to touch on training for wine knowledge and service. This works to foster loyalty and also credibility for your staff and business. Staff should be comfortable with the basics of sensory training, and they should also know about the key differences between well-known Vitis vinifera varietals and Iowa-grown hybrids. This extends into knowledge about the products that are made at your facility. Having confidence in this knowledge, as well as how to pour wines, describe them, and guide a tasting, will result in a better guest experience and also make the staff feel more connected to the brand. There are many resources that are widely available for learning how to taste wines, some of which are available on YouTube. We also have some resources on our website, and we host a yearly sensory training workshop, which will be held in late July this year. More details will be available soon on that. Invest in training for your staff. This signals a commitment to their professional development and will lead to greater satisfaction in their roles and improved performance. Ensure that standards and protocols are clearly laid out and known by all staff. This can be an opportunity for a written or oral quiz or a hands-on demonstration to reinforce consistency and accuracy. Reviewing these protocols regularly through staff meetings, mock scenarios, or by asking staff to show you how it's done will ensure that everybody follows the same high standard that you desire. Along with this is knowing how to talk about wine. Staff should feel comfortable with basic wine terminology, including aroma and taste descriptors, visual descriptors, and other terms. This can again be trained through hands-on trainings such as the one that we are hosting in July. Provide a glossary or a list of common wine terms so they can communicate about wines comfortably with their guests. This can work to enhance the tasting experience for customers, and also staff can learn how to discern what level or expectation that customers have of the wine tasting experience. They can then make the experience tailored to the guest and have it be as informative or as casual as the guest would like. By having a solid understanding of this terminology, staff can adapt to the guest's interest level, ultimately making sure that the guest feels comfortable and important. Along with common wine terminology, staff should know an overview of the winemaking process, from harvest to bottle. This can be laid out in the form of a diagram, such as the one that Jossie made for the Institute, which is on this slide. Additionally, posters and other resources are available from sources such as Wine Folly. A great way to train on the basics of winemaking is to coordinate with your winemaker for a winemaking 101 session to teach all staff. This is also a great way to boost team morale and get everybody involved and together. Next up, I will touch on compliance and safety. Compliance is crucial for a business. It helps you meet state and federal legal requirements, avoiding fines or penalties. It also helps preserve the business's reputation for professionalism and loyalty. It reduces the risk and liability for you and ensures a culture of consistent service and product quality. While it may be dry, there are ways to keep it fun, and it's crucial that staff know their place in complying with the law. Regulatory compliance regarding serving alcohol and its sale is regulated by the Iowa Alcoholic Beverages Division, and it is essential that all staff understand and comply with these regulations. Official trainings are available through offerings such as the Iowa Program for Alcohol Compliance Training, or IPACT, and Serve Safe Alcohol, which is available through the Iowa Restaurant Association. These trainings will provide certification at the end of completion and offer one affirmative defense to the business in the event of a violation. These programs will cover critical topics, including age verification, refusing service to underage or intoxicated individuals, as well as understanding the legal responsibilities of alcohol servers. While it is not required to use these programs, they will help by providing said affirmative defense. The business should maintain up-to-date records of certification or in-house training, as well as a log of any alcohol-related incidents in the event that something occurs where they will need this. It is also highly beneficial to review these guidelines regularly with staff, particularly before busy seasons, and to role-play common scenarios so employees feel confident in handling them. This ongoing training will reinforce a culture of compliance, safety, as well as professionalism. Other regulations include those in regards to food safety. Tasting room staff in wineries must comply with current good manufacturing practices to ensure a clean, safe, and sanitary environment for serving wine and any accompanying food if your business serves food. Food service falls under FSMA and is FDA regulated. However, wineries are exempt from certain regulations. Ultimately, issues with this will fall on management and ownership, especially if staff aren't properly trained and records aren't kept. Current good manufacturing practices include those involving personnel, such as personal hygiene regular hand washing, and staying home when ill, as well as those related to plant and grounds, maintained to prevent contamination and designed for easy cleaning and sanitation. Sanitary operations should always be conducted. This involves regular cleaning and sanitizing of glassware, surfaces, and utensils. If food is served, staff must follow safe food handling procedures. All chemicals used for cleaning must be clearly labeled and stored away from food and beverage areas. Pest control measures must be in place as well to prevent contamination. Tasting rooms must also have potable water and handle ice safely. Ensure accurate labeling and cleanliness when dispensing wine, and be able to dispose of waste properly. Staff training on all of these procedures, as well as their understanding in their role in maintaining compliance, is crucial. Again, keep records of their training and providing opening and closing checklists to staff to ensure their success are two great ways to ensure that this occurs. Finally, I would like to discuss training tools. How do we tie this all together and ensure that staff feel confident in their performance? First, a great training is not complete without a proficient and professional trainer. A great trainer for tasting room staff combines strong product knowledge with a passion for hospitality and the guest experience. They lead with warmth and professionalism and understand that their attitude is the first impression that employees get of the brand. A gap in training ultimately is the responsibility of the trainer and can quickly turn into a bad habit for all staff. They should have deep knowledge and understanding of the wine and the brand story, communicating clearly, being able to adapt to different learning styles, and using coaching techniques like role-playing and real-time feedback will help build staff confidence. The trainer will also model professional behavior, teaching effective sales, and will ensure that staff follow all service standards and compliance rules. Being patient, approachable, and consistent are key descriptors of a good trainer. They're also someone who can lead by example and support both new and experienced team members in delivering a high-quality experience to guests. The trainer should have an understanding of the 3 types of learning. These are auditory, tactile, and visual. Visual learners grasp information best through images or diagrams and written materials. Auditory learners absorb knowledge by listening and discussion, and tactile learners prefer hands-on experiences and learning by doing. When teaching adults, it's important to apply these principles, recognizing that adults are self-directed, bringing prior knowledge and experiences, and that they seek learning that is relevant and practical to their work are essential components of the adult learning principles. Adults also benefit from learning that is problem-centered rather than content-oriented, and they do not want just a bunch of content laid out to them at once. They want to feel respected and involved in the training process. Incorporating these principles, as well as knowing about the different types of learning, will enhance engagement and retention in a training setting. There are various tools that can be used for adult learning. And these kind of are just a few examples. Making sure to provide handouts of frequently asked questions or wine styles, tasting notes of your products, general information that you would like staff to remember, and protocols are essential. For those who learn by doing, role play scenarios when training on new methods or resolving customer issues are another great tool. Peer shadowing allows for feedback and is an essential tool for training. Make sure to provide relevant and practical lessons, and don't overwhelm them with information all at once. There are a plethora of videos or other digital content that can be used to supplement your training process. Consider quizzing or using a game to assess their knowledge in an engaging way. Also, make sure that regular meetings are scheduled to reinforce training information, both group and individual meetings. Lastly, I would like to touch on continuous development. Opportunities for cross-training for other roles should never be mandatory, but incentivized and encouraged. Incentives for cross-training could mean promotion potential, bonuses or incremental wage increases for trainings, the first pick of shifts, etc. An investment in employee professional development will see to it that employees feel connected to the brand. Providing annual performance reviews with actionable feedback is another great way to ensure that staff know how they can improve. Be open to the feedback that you receive on your training and otherwise, as this can shape how your training is conducted in the future and can also encourage a culture of continual development within your brand. Okay, so this wraps up my presentation. I appreciate you all joining me, and now we are going to stop the recording and open it up for discussion.